Welcome everyone. Immediately my voice failed when I started the stream. What a way to start. It is December 13th, 2022. Uh, Tuesday, I think, right? Yeah, Tuesday. And as you can hear, I'm still sick, which, you know, is gonna happen a lot, so I hope it doesn't bother you too much, this change in voice. And yeah, we're gonna continue working on Razor. I would like for Razor to be done today, but I'm not sure if I can do that. I hope I can. But anyway, so last stream we left off with a nice amount of contrast around the face and around the hilt, which I think is really good. My eyes, when I squint, I kind of see like this triangle of high contrast, right? Sort of like this line, which I think is interesting. Do I fully know or understand that line? Not really, but I'm sure with practice, I will be able to get it. Ugh, my goodness. Now, we need uh we just need something like this, right? Something like this, I think. As to show that there's like, a turn there, I think. And also to lighten it up a little bit, because it's too dark, right? To cut this line. I want this line to like cut here so that we focus mainly here. Even the jacket, I might make it a little bit lighter, even though in the character itself it isn't. But like, if I were to paint over the character, well, it's not a good example because it's really fucking pale. It's like to guide the eye, you know. We need, and again, it's a simple strategy to just increase the contrast in the face. Let me just clean my nose. Okay. Ah, much better. So last stream we left off uh we left off with a lot of information already done, right? I'm really enjoying like making these simpler painterly textures instead of focusing so much on smooth rendering. Gives me a little bit of freedom, you know? There were other types of brushes. There are other types of brushes that I like to use. In the offline screen, I took a lot of liberty to do exactly that. But either way, uh, we have the jacket, and the jacket has a very complex uh, structure to it. Okay, so we start by focusing more on these shapes right here. So that I can paint them later. Yesterday I had a pretty interesting conversation about AI, right? And pretty much like my doubts are being confirmed. It's like people that are not uh, making art are very obsessed with actually seeing the result, right? When they are forgetting why people do things in the first place. It's kind of like a snake that eats itself. Once you allow machines to make the art for you, because art is made as a form of a human communicating with a human. If you automate that activity, right, it's you remove the communication part, which kind of renders the entire process useless. You know, there's always a lot of decisions when making art. And a good argument that I like to put is if you can simulate an artist's style and you think that's okay, then um why do people go to concerts, you know? Why do people watch football games and things like that when you can listen to an album instead of going to the concert? You can just simulate the game and just see the result, you know? Because it's not about the result, it's about a process. And the thing about humans and processes is that we are kind of unpredictable. You know? We are affected by our environment. And the AI doesn't do that. The AI picks up data from previous experiences, but not the current ones. It can try to predict our growth, but our growth is heavily influenced by factors that are incredibly chaotic. And again, I think I said this before, but it's like it is a certain luxury. Art is a certain luxury. We You need to understand that we have a need to create once our survival is uh, taken care of. We have that drive, whether it's music, visual art, formative art. There's a lot of ways in which we catalyze those wishes. But all in all, we create things. It's all about trying to make money, right? These people want art. Not any art, mind you. They want styles that exist because people studied, right, and developed this visual language. And there are people out there, they want to use this for free, right? It's like, then artists will not be able to make a living out of this, which means they will have to make art as a side project, which obviously doesn't give the same type of output as if it was your living. So you end up without artists to feed the AI. The AI becomes predictable, right? And people turn into artists again. It's something that I don't understand. It's like people get way too excited for something they haven't really thought through. And it's a shame. It's a shame that they have this behavior. And I know why they have this behavior. It's because of money. It's only because of money. There's no other reason for this. Right? Why do people go into cryptocurrencies? They might not even fully understand what a cryptocurrency is, but they do it because they see a quick way to get money, because they're desperate to have money. And, that is a shame. They see their value in money. And I wish they didn't. Because, like, there's so many more things that can give you value, right? But you choose to. You choose to just make money. And, like, once your life becomes that, you're just completely void of any meaning. Right? You made your life's meaning to gain fictional value, or meta value, even. I think that's a better expression. You made your life's uh, goal to achieve this potential of value that is not realized, right? That's pretty much what money is. And like you can have a lot of potential value, but if you don't spend it, you know, it's not even about spending it. It's like if you don't transform it, it's completely useless, right? And that's what kind of happens with a lot of people. And I think that's also what is wrong with a lot of things in the world is that people with a lot of money are more trusted than people with less money, right? So people with a lot of potential value are more trusted than people with less. But overall, their actual value is the same. Is exactly the same. In making value virtual or stripping several layers of reality from value, we just created an infinite stream of value that doesn't actually exist, right? Which in a way it's kind of scary. And again, there was someone that was saying, "Oh, throughout history, technology changed the landscape of art and artists," which is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. Uh, but my point of contention is not so much that the AIs exist, is more so how they're being used, right? Because, for instance, when the first projections started to be made, pinhole cameras and things like that, uh, a lot of people also complained because now you didn't need to draw well, right? You could just trace over. Or I think it's Fumato technique, where you use stencils and you put charcoal, right? But the thing is, the artist always puts a little bit of themselves, or the artists always put a little bit of themselves into the work. The AI doesn't, right? That's why it feels soulless. That's why people hide the fact that it was from AI. It's not an expression of skill. They don't have any message to send. All they want to do is mimic and get praise. That is nothing. You are not communicating anything towards your audience. There is an aesthetic experience for certain, and that exists. But that is not the main purpose of art, and that is the problem with the larger audience. The larger audience thinks that art is looking at pretty things. It's not. That encompasses a lot of art, but it's not all of art. Art is to communicate. It doesn't even need to be a clear communication, right? The artist might mean something and the viewer might interpret something else. But it's that act of communication, right? The viewer will always view something in the piece, but the artist also needs to say something. If you put a prompt in an AI, and immediately post it, you are not communicating anything, right? I think I think that's the point. Is you removed the communication instead of being a dialogue. Now it's just a monologue from the viewer to the viewer. There's nothing else, right? I think that's kind of the thing that machines haven't been able to replicate. And I don't know if they were ever will be able to replicate, if I'm being completely honest, is the intentions. There's something about us. I've thought this a few years ago. There's something, there's a quality about humans, about living creatures in general, that I find very endearing, despite being very obnoxious sometimes. We are flawed, right? Sometimes our judgment is clouded. Sometimes we forget things, you know, and so we are inconsistent in a way. Which means each new artwork can be something completely unpredictable. For instance, I don't know. This is more of my personal experience, right? But I don't know how people can actually paint something that always stays in the same style. Granted, I haven't painted much, right? I have this huge procrastination problem that I don't know how I'm gonna solve. But yeah, I I don't know. But again, long story short, it's we are flawed. And we can see patterns, you know. So eventually we get used to the patterns of the AI and get bored. That's what I think. Just defining the main blocks of the coat. I just have to say, like, this is incredible, right? Line art, and then color. A friend of mine told me, this is unrelated to AI, by the way. A friend of mine told me to like keep some of the line art to be easier to uh, see the shapes, and I think she's right. But for this one, the intent is to not use any line art because people ask to not do line art, or yeah, not do line art. I don't have line art. I call this one line art, but it's sketch. So yeah, it's really cool to see. Yeah, like all of the parts that I retouched. This is really interesting. It's mostly details. It's not so much. I mean, the hilt is completely reworked, right? But yeah, it's really interesting to see. Especially here, you see like a lot of things are still there. That's really cool. Yeah, I think people should take this whole automation thing a little bit calmly, because they're erasing any reason to exist. There are some philosophers that defend that the meaning of life is the indulgence of the senses, experiencing things. Right now, I'm very for that conclusion, but I'm incredibly biased on that regard because, I'm an artist. Let me just clean my nose. Okay. Yeah, I'm back. But yeah, there's this line of thinking that life is about the indulgence of the senses. And I'm not necessarily all for it, but I do think there's something really interesting about that type of thought. Because nowadays, I don't know if it's just the doom um, feeling that is getting to me, but it feels like everyone is just living to work. And I know how entitled this sounds, obviously, but I hope you can understand what I'm saying, right? It's like during the week you work as much as you sleep. And like you're not, most people at least are not working in something that they want to do, right? They work in a byproduct because it gives them something that they need to survive, which is that virtualization of value. It's really weird to think about, right? I just think money is a very interesting and good invention overall, because trading has a lot of downsides to it, you know. So it was a good invention, but like having money allows you to make more money. It's just a never-ending spiral, honestly. I like this. I can smooth this out later. Right. I remember I used like a very weird strategy here. It was, no, it was the sketch one, I think. Right? Something like that. Yeah. Something like this, and maybe like another brush on top, it doesn't matter. Uh, yeah. Like all we need is to put some laws protecting content, and this way of using AI will stop existing. Because I don't have any problems with particular individuals using AI for their own devices, right? But if all you want to do is to try and isolate the expression factor for someone, of someone, I mean, it, all you're going to end up with are weird facsimiles of their work with none of the context. I actually tweeted something about that. Uh, that the AI doesn't give you what you want. The AI gives you what you think you want. And I think that's appropriate because most people don't know exactly what they want from an artwork. That's why it's always a surprise. Sorry, I'm getting kind of distracted looking at Twitter. Oh my god, you're so fucking relatable. Look at this. Look at this. Sorry, I got really distracted by Twitter. Again, it's like attention span of a golden retriever. Yanni Pierre, which is someone that I knew through Spazzy, which is a pretty big streamer. Um, but Yanni Pierre uh, sums this up really well. Everything is just about maximizing the amount of money you can possibly make, and I hate it so much. You know, because there was this one guy that did a book script with AI and did the images as AI as with AI as well. And the images were terrible. I don't know about the script, couldn't read it, but the images were pretty bad and they have a lot of mistakes that no human in their right mind, regardless of drawing skill, would make. I actually blocked this guy because I don't want to see this type of shit in my timeline. I haven't read this part yet. They don't see creativity as an end in itself. Tech pros just see a process, manufacturing step in need of streamlining and automating. The aim isn't to make artists a great product, and making 180 books a year with AI instead of two with people is better. Yeah. Yeah, this is a big problem. It's like we have this drive of making things easier for us, but we kind of conflate it with automation, right? And so we want the art process to be easier, but at the same time, we fall into the trap of automating it, which sucks. You know, we tend to value something that has only one of that something rather than a lot of copies. When we look at a painting, usually there's only one, unless someone made like a really good replica, which is still slightly different, right? But if you look at the stamp in a shirt, I don't know if it's stamp that's called, but the pattern on a shirt, that was very likely mass produced, and we kind of ignore it, right? Even if we pay attention because it's, you know, slightly interesting, we eventually stop caring about it. There was I had to read a lot about this stuff, so I'm sorry if I'm being too preachy, but it's almost like the killing of the sacred nowadays. Not sacred in any religious way, sacred as in having an intrinsic special value, right? When we I was thinking about this yesterday, and I think it's important to, you know, think about how art came to be. You know, art. When we were in caves, we collected rocks that looked like people, right? And those rocks themselves don't have any material uh, function, but we still collected them, right? And that might be actually one of the first types of art that we made. And I do mean made, even though we collected the rocks, because if we didn't pick them up from usually rivers because they were a bit polished, if we didn't collect the rocks, they would just be another rock in a river, right? It's the fact that we collected them that made them art. And so it's something that doesn't necessarily have a u a u a use. I was going to say a useful use, but no, a use, right? It's something to every once in a while admire. Because, like, in the last few years, I've been having this weird realization. There's more and more books being published, right? But I feel like the quality of books being published has diminished considerably. I feel like the process of, you know, actually interpreting the book and saying truthfully if it's good or not, I think it's kind of disappearing. So now, like, to value a book is to see if it sells really well. So you have like the New York. Times bestseller lists. But to do that, you just need to buy a lot of your own books, and you automatically shoot up the ratings, right? Which kind of defeats the purpose of the criteria to determine whether a book is good or not. There's a lot of problems, man. And when you identify all of those problems, of course you're gonna have like doom thoughts. But creativity never dies. One way or another, people always flock. You probably heard that. I have to recharge my headphones eventually. But yeah, people always flock to those who create, I feel. It's not that we're special or anything, but we provide good escapism, which is another thing. I feel it's such a shame that we normalized the escapist feeling. It's like, is it that okay to feel like you want to leave this reality? Is reality so shitty that you want to just leave? You know? Because it's like, there's works of fiction, for instance, Sherlock Holmes, right? It's fiction, but it works in the same rules that our universe works. But then you have like worlds with different rules. Okay, this is a bit of my personal bias. So I won't judge anyone that likes like science fiction or things like that. Because that can be enjoyable. But when it comes to appreciating it because it allows you to turn off from reality, that's when my alarm started sounding, you know? Because it's not to enjoy something, it's to just not feel reality as it is, you know? It's running away from the problem. That's when it's not good. But if it's like to enjoy dragons or something, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, the window by 1 pixel. Yeah, that should be fine. Got that big. I like this brush a lot because it has this sort of dithering to it, you know, this texture that I really enjoy. Uh, I think I'm just gonna do something like this to show some depth to it. Right. Oh. Yeah. I feel like there's still work to do, but it's pretty much like Kaya, I think. It's like there were things to do. I just don't yet know how to do them. You know, it's like technical limitations. So I should be pretty close to at least have the character done. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave this line right here. I don't know why. I think it's funny to have a line like that. I'm just gonna darken this a lot. Yeah. Darken this part a lot as well. God, I love texture. Uh, just refreshing my eyes here. I was looking at this. I didn't know that Illumation had uploaded 10 videos this year. Could have sworn it was less, but really good. I mean, she did do that mini album, so she was quite busy this year. She's actually a very big inspiration for the way I paint, or at least her videos, because I look at the background and the background is very painterly, and I really like that. I feel like I'm still finding my voice, but she was like a very heavy influence in that decision. She and the background designers, obviously, or background illustrators, whatever's proper nomenclature there. Look at that. I'm not even gonna like focus too much on that. Like, I might do, because it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter too much to focus on that specifically. So. Yeah. Very busy days are approaching. This week is gonna be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm gonna be very busy. But I should be able to stream anyway. I like that I was thinking about this. A thing that I did almost instinctively was adding Terminator into the painting itself. Sorry about that. By just changing the hue while I was shading. It's not so obvious in this one, but I did do it, especially here, like this reddish transition, getting really cool. What was I missing? A little bit here. Shrink 1 pixel, please. Right. See this warmer tone. I really like that. Let me just clean my nose. Okay, I'm back. So, in terms of character, I don't think I'm gonna touch that much more on it. So, yeah, I think the boots are a bit dark, but that's okay. There's a point here and then like something to attract here. That's not bad. That's not bad. Fine. We're gonna multiply a little bit. Something like this. Right. Definitely interesting. Which is something that I was looking for. And again, the multiplying with the texture, I like it a lot. Yeah, the piece definitely gets more interesting. Okay, this one has to be an airbrush. Goddamn. I can barely see anything. But yeah. Multiply sure does its job. And blow dodge. Right. Well, it's not perfect, but I'm very proud of this. Just a sec. Gonna clean my nose. I'm back. I'm sorry for so many breaks. It's just, I don't want to be like blowing my nose into the mic, you know? Oh, right. Okay, that can be fixed. That can be fixed. You know what I'm gonna do? Wait. Oh, I can do it. We merge all of it together. Right? What is happening there? What is that? Oh, it's the sword behind the face. Alright, I see it. I see it. Yeah. 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 I see it. Okay. Just gonna be erasing stuff that is here. Like this. There we go. Alright. Now. Right. Now we have. I forgot about the overlay layer. I can stand top. I don't mind. Like, you know, tell me this doesn't feel cool. They're in the feet. I think it's really nice. Right? And now we multiply. I like to make my shadows like that. Get a brush. I like the shadow being blue. Feels interesting. Also, I'm trying like different stuff here. Oh, what is happening there? Okay. For some reason, the music was being all weird. It didn't affect the sound, but it was affecting like the video in which it's streaming. I like this. Now. Okay, one of the things that I was missing is the overlay layer. Let me just... Not airbrush. Yeah, so there's another problem there. That's a big problem. Oh boy. Sorry, just cleaning my nose. I'm back. I think why this is not working is because it's in the sword. So I'm gonna need to merge these layers, right? And delete it. Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna take a bit of time, so please be patient. But we are, you know, inching closer and closer to finishing this piece. just carving everything. So that I can then more easily okay. Do like this. Yeah, it's pretty much just molded already. So can just erase this part now. Yeah, in the glove, I figured it was gonna be a bit different. But that's okay. Yeah. This is the problem that comes with painting from with the background color instead of actually erasing. I want to try making clouds with blurs and smears. I want to see how they look. For a character that I wasn't that excited about, Razor actually came out really nicely. The next one is going to be very important, I think. It's Venti, aka Barbados, aka the Anemo Archon. And just damn, the brush was big. Alright. Doesn't this color feel a little bit dull? What's happening? Okay, this one feels good. This one feels good. I'm going to work on this now. So, shouldn't be that middle color, neutral color. Okay. Go like this. Uh, hmm. Sorry for not talking so much now. You know, we- sometimes you enter that zone of concentration and then it's hard to keep talking. That's what I feel it's most challenging about art streams. At least for me, I can't focus on two things at once. I think I didn't do overlay, but that's okay. That's okay. It's a bit of a forgetful or uneventful, better. Uh, a bit of an uneventful composition, but I still think it's interesting. I might do a little bit of color correction. Uh, if I do like this, for instance, yeah, nothing in the processing area. New correction layer. I legit don't know what I'm doing. fully understand what is happening. Yeah. The correction layer. Color balance. I don't like the effect of the layer. Cancel. I don't like it. Maybe just... Ooh, really pops. Something like this would be interesting. I guess. I don't. Tired. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like this. So I've been at it for an hour 45. Not bad. Well, I want to thank everyone that joined me today, whether it was live or on the VOD. And I will declare Razor is pretty much finished. So next up, I think it's Venti, which, you know, is exciting. It's an Archon. And yeah, hopefully I also improve a little bit from the sickness. But that's about it for today. I'm also needing to rest a little bit, so it came in a good time. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. GMT+1, and I hope to see you there. Goodbye.